All right. Do you have to push a button?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, I got it. Oh, there. Got it.
Woo! All right. Oh my God, I'm so excited. What's up, everybody? This is Josh and Jess from God Hates Unicorns, and we're here with another round of bands and artists we like and support that aren't as good as God Hates Unicorns, even though they are in most cases. And here with us today, we have Cullah from Wisconsin.
Hey, thanks for having me. And Jess, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the podcast. It's always a good move too. I love podcasts, and I started one myself recently. I've been out of practice, but man, was it fun to just like talk with people that you learn so much, and you get to like, I don't know. It's really special to be able to, and then broadcast it and share conversations and share that with in your networks. I really like the medium, so always happy to do.
I'm so excited, and what I'm so excited about, I hate looking at myself. I'm like, is this weird? I'm going to take this up. I don't know, but I hate looking at myself the whole time. That's the only thing I don't like about podcasts. But what I love about it is that I have an opportunity to like meet new people from everywhere. And you know, obviously I couldn't like just be like, let's go hang out with Cullah in Milwaukee.
Right.
And who just drives to Wisconsin?
Well,
it's a little bit more effort.
In fairness, one time I was driving him home and we lived very close to the place that we were at. And I handed him my phone and I was like, please put in your address. We'll GPS it.
I was drunk.
He was drunk. So I'm driving and I'm like, where am I going? And I look at my phone and it's an address in Wisconsin. And I'm like, we're not going here. But so sometimes you can just drive to Wisconsin, but you really have to not know what's happening.
If you just go with the serendipity of the algorithms over them, maybe they'll take you to Wisconsin.
They might.
Or Wisconsin will come to us, like what's going to happen in a few weeks.
It is.
That's right. Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon. Pretty soon. It's now June, right? So
it is June. So June 18th at 222 Ormsby. We're going to be playing together with Anxiety at Best and Sachem Orenda. And you're going to like everyone. And we're really, really excited to have you. So thank you so much for reaching out.
Of course. No, I'm so glad that it worked out. And it's been, it's been something. I think this is one of the first dates that I was able to like be like, oh, something that's going to happen here on the East Coast tour. So it was such a relief to be able to connect with you guys and be like, oh man, we get some solid like thing going on in Pittsburgh. Like, I'm so excited.
So I'm so perplexed and like overwhelmed about like, how did you find us? Like,
I believe it was just through Facebook. I think like for when I go into places, I just go, it just takes time. And I go band by band and I listen to their stuff and I get their vibe and then I put them on a list. And I try to get their email, I try to find the stuff and then I'll just email each one that I want.
Oh my God. Well, that's a lot of time.
It takes time. It takes time. And it's a system that I'm developing more to streamline it. Like I have a computer engineering background a little bit. So like I'm definitely love to code and automate things. It's like sometimes I spend more time automating something than I probably could like do myself. But so I like spreadsheets and stuff. So I don't necessarily like all the work per se, but it's worth it to be able to go on a tour and learn how to do it DIY from the ground up and really learn like how to tour and how to do it. And really what it is making really, connections with awesome people all around and being able to just build off and share each other's networks and share each other's experiences and grow. Because like now, going through there, now there's a place for you guys or anyone asks you, oh, what about Milwaukee? It's like, oh, okay, come through and I can point them in the right direction. There's so many people that one of the things that I've learned about booking this tour, because I've done small tours, but this is the longest and biggest one that I've done, where it's like 10 dates and 14 days on the road. And so it's the the one thing that I've learned, at least in the Midwest, but although I get the same vibe in some of the East Coast, but not as much, is people just are so willing to share resources and just share their experiences and point people in the right direction. And like, so the amount of support that I feel from from the responses that I've gotten from musicians like yourself, it's just been so encouraging as a musician myself, and just knowing how tough it is to be on a road and do all that stuff, to just know that other musicians are there, like, and everyone has the same common shared goals. And that makes me super happy.
I want to real quick, and I know that I've talked about this before, and my spreadsheet skills have not been up to snuff in some cases. Suit Coat Dave, I know if you're watching this, I really love spreadsheets. I really love being able to use just all the information that you have at your fingertips. It's amazing. But I was talking to this guy that we know who's in another band, Sneaky Heat Missiles.
And don't plug them. I think they're podcasts.
It's not, but I want to plug them because I was talking about how much I love Excel and how much it helps me day to day, and how much I love spreadsheets. And he came back and made this incredible, I'm going to put this on the screen. He did our logo in Excel, and it was just like mind blowing. And he was like, now your turn. And I'm like,
I got nothing.
I got nothing on that. This is beautiful. You win. So I totally appreciate that. But yeah.
You didn't know you were gonna come on a music podcast talking about spreadsheets, did you?
I just wanted to mention that I really like spreadsheets. But
I feel you. I'm happy that we have an amicable spreadsheet love. They make the world go round.
They do. They really fucking do. And just today, like 2 times, I was like, oh my God, I love Excel. And I had like a moment, and it's like, great. So anyways, Joshua, you say the thing you want to say.
Yeah, but I get the touring and getting the people helping you out, because I was sleeping on floors and couches and getting, I remember doing that for a long time. And, same with people coming through. I used to have bands always stay with me when they came through. So, it's good to have that network. You want that, because like, you
have to have it.
You want like, one, to help people out, 2, to have connections in multiple cities. So a lot of people would, either be assholes about it, which usually they're not, but it's weird.
Yeah, and I think, it is. It's like, what, like somebody is taking the time to, you are doing it right. People do it wrong, but you do it right. It's like, I've actually listened to your things. This is awesome. Let's book something. It's like, oh my fucking God, yeah. So I'm so excited. This is going to be such a cool show. Yeah. You're really going to love the venue. It's really, it's one of my favorites in the city. It's actually where I played my first actual show out.
Oh, wow.
So it's,
and we haven't played there as a band yet.
We haven't played there as a band yet.
It's like a DIY punk venue.
It's
cool.
And it's like it's BYOB. It's
but there is
all ages.
A bar across the street that you can bring the things to.
Oh wow,
it's a real cool spot. There's sound guy, door guy, and everything like that. But like, yeah, it's a DIY punk venue. It's pretty cool.
It's really awesome. So yeah, so we're talking about this like, oh, okay, local bands doing stuff, but you aren't that, because you, Cullah, just hit 5 million streams, and that's a few million less than we know. 5 million.
It's been a long, that's over seven years. But
well, that's, yeah. That's a lot. So tell us about that. Like yeah. How do you cultivate that audience?
How do you listen to your own song?
Stop it! Shut up.
That's the robots I'm talking about. It's the computer engineering. Yeah, no, people do that. They have
people do that.
They have listening farms and stuff, and
no hate if you did. Just don't say it here because it might not be.
No, this is a secret to how I did it. So basically, just make a lot of music and you give it all away for free.
Mm-hmm.
And what ends up happening by doing that, and by giving it away for free, I don't mean like, not selling merch or not letting people pay you or not selling products or anything. I mean licensing your songs for usage and synchronization. So like for films, for movies, for video games and all that stuff. So I'm an open source musician, which is an interesting thing. So like all my songs, each one of the mixer tracks is also released with the song. And I've done that, and I've been composing music like that since 2006. Every year I release an album on my birthday on April 27th, and this year is my 16th. Thank you. So last year was my 1/2 year. So I was 1/2 year of half of my life releasing music. So it was a big milestone. And so to get to the 5 million, which, pales in comparison to a lot of people, but it's all relative, right? Like, years ago, I would even be, thinking about even, everyone, starting something, Spotify is one of the bigger platforms for me. And, luckily, and it's all because of the syncs, like I said. So I found some open licensing and like open using this thing called Creative Commons. Maybe you've heard of it. It's a international licensing framework where these people are trying to come up with a standard to allow people to have a contract that's just right there for people to license, instead of having to deal with lawyers or attorneys and trying to negotiate this or that, like, oh, can I do it? Just no, here's my song and it's under this license, use it. So I found a couple websites that would do that. And so then I just uploaded my music and just kept doing it every year. And then all of a sudden, before I knew it, there was YouTube videos every day using my music, literally every day for years. Like people using it for their vlogs and their podcasts or their and sometimes big YouTubers. And that's when the shit would be crazy. All of a sudden, like a YouTuber would use one song, and then I can see like spikes in my traffic. It'd be like, holy shit. And then playlists would pop up and stuff on Spotify, and then an IMDb page populated itself, and like people are always commenting with the video games that they played it in. So it's like, and now, and it's all just for giving it away. Like, it's all just like, here.
The thing is, it's not all that, because I've listened to a lot of your music and it lends very well to YouTube videos or video games, or like the style of it is very well done. And it's very like malleable. Like you can take one of your songs and like it can mush into any hole you really want it to. They're so cool. And
what hole are you thinking about?
Stop it. We'll talk about that after the recording. No, but I just like I really like your songs because they're not like, they're not like here's a pop song, here's a rap song. It's just like they're really interesting and different, and you can kind of mold them to what you're looking for. So I think that the quality of your songs and like the way that you do your music works really well with that model.
Yeah, I've loved film too since I was a kid. So I'm sure subconsciously I'm like writing and composing and making the music with that in my mind, and I love dramatic music and like theatrical things and build-ups and let goes and, tension and all that stuff. And so I like, and I've been experimenting with it more and more and more, and it's super fun. And so, that's how to at least get to 5 million. I don't know, I hope it keeps growing, and these tours are part of it. But
and I think it will. I mean,
that's a good ploy, the giving away for free. That's a brilliant.
But I think that it is. But I think that his specific product is.
Oh no, you have to have the thing that people would want to use.
Right.
But the tactic is brilliant.
Yeah. It is, and and you can tell, like, your music to me sounds like a soundtrack, and in the best way possible. I love it, and that's what I love about it, is because it sounds like, everything I'm listening to that you do, like it sounds like it's putting me in a different spot, and it's not like oh, here, listen to this song. That's good. It mentally is like, oh, where am I going here? What's happening now?
Into a hole, apparently.
Into a hole. Yeah. Anyways.
Bottomless hole.
So,
A little bit.
so tell us about your latest single, as far as I know, The Feather.
Yeah, that so that one, this whole album, Firebird, I've switching up my release strategy for the past 15 years. I've like been like, here's 10 to 15 songs on one day, and like, there you go. And then with Spotify, I started now then like I would release everything on my website one day, and then I would trickle out the songs every month. But now with this year, I'm kind of like trying to like slow things down further and do like write the song single at a time and just do like 4 a year and just do that and release them as 7 inches and stuff like and just try and do that way. So The Feather was the first one that I wrote, and I actually just recorded an acoustic version with a baby grand and cello player and trying to get a gypsy jazz like fiddle guys to get on there, but one step at a time. And so The Feather is the first track on Firebird, which is my album, and it's all about the Slavic mythology story of Ivan and the Firebird, which I wasn't aware of till more recently. I went on a small little tour down through Texas and Mississippi and Tennessee before COVID, and I was just listening to this storyteller Michael Mead on a conference with this like psychologist and this poet, and they basically just broke down the story, part by part, and what it meant, and it was all about, it's kind of the hero's journey type situation, but they talked. Yeah, and so it was the first time hearing that story, and it just really resonated with me because I was able to just hear some of these brilliant people break it down, and I was really at a time in my life really hungry for meaning and to try to really understand, I guess, what these men when they're talking, I guess they would consider themselves to be the mythopoetic movement, where it's just like using poetry to discuss mythology, and then you're using archetypal psychology to like break it down and turn to how do these stories relate to our personalities and our ego and our other parts of our psyche, and how and even our biology, and we can learn about ourselves through listening to these stories. Like one of the things I learned in this when they were giving the story was that even the word story is the same word as storage, and it's like that's where that whole thing is. Like stories are how we literally have keep data through generations. But and that's we hear of the oral tradition being most of human existence until more recently we've had written language. So there's just like a lot of like nuggets like that, just learning about storytelling and stuff, and I just was really moved by the story and how they told it, and it just came out this year finally. It was just been in there, the stories have been in there, and I've been mulling them over, and then I just wrote this song, and the hook came just in a flow state, and so I wasn't even thinking about it, and so then it's the song itself is about the feather of the Firebird is the beginning of the journey. So it's the hunter is the guy Ivan, and he's got a horse, and he's just going through the woods, and he finds a feather, which is like it glows in the dark, and it's this magical feather, and it's like basically the signal and the sign that there's a hollowing tale about to happen.
That is so cool. That is amazing. That is amazing. And I love, like, because a lot of times I'll write a song and I'll be like, I don't know, it's just about something I was thinking about when I was eating. Like,
you think that, and then you look back at it later and you'd be like, damn.
That is true. Like you look back and it's like during that day I was thinking about this like past trauma, as well as the Pinkerton Detective Agency, as well as I don't know, the Ukraine. And then it's like, well, that's why I wrote the song. But I know you're big into film. off the top of my head, who's your favorite director?
Man. I would say like the one that has shaped me the most in an intimate way, one of the films and like a moment in my life where it was super powerful, was Danny Boyle, it was a movie called Sunshine. For some reason was just huge in my life at a certain time when I was in like graduating high school. And I was graduating high school. I like had a bunch of songs I wrote inspired by the film. And he did Slumdog Millionaire. He did 28 Days Later. He did that one where the dude cut off his arm. What's his name? What's his name? But
the guy who's canceled now, James Franco.
Yeah. He's done all these huge films. And
I didn't see Sunshine.
Yeah, Sunshine wasn't as well received, but it's one of my favorite actors who's leads Cillian Murphy.
Oh,
Did you see that movie?
No, but Cillian Murphy's great.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Batman. He was the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
He was in Inception.
He's in Peaky Blinders.
He's Peaky Blinders dude. Yeah, he's a Peaky Blinders dude. Yeah, he's an incredible actor. He's an Irish actor, and the first film I saw him in was this Irish film called The Wind That Shakes the Barley. I mean, if you talk about a harrowing tale, man, Jesus, like that if you want to like feel what it means to like have a like people's divided, like brothers pinned against brothers in war and like oppression and for hundreds of years of oppression and stuff. That film is super powerful, and Irish actors and theater is pretty incredible.
Yeah, we're on a porch talking about our favorite directors.
We were, and believe it or not, I am a lot Irish. So, but yes, we were, and that's why I was so interested. But that's so cool. Yeah, there's so much that can be learned from film, from books, obviously. Okay, so that makes no sense what I said. Everything is learned from film, books, or internet, or something that happens to you in your life.
You can learn stuff from books, kids.
Guess what? You can read a book and you can learn something. I ordered 2 books tonight. I know how to read, and I'm gonna learn. So
they were Dr. Seuss books.
They were not.
I'm very pro reading too. Yeah, reading.
Yeah, it's important, and I was gonna say, as a parent, it's very hard.
Who's anti-reading is what I want to know.
Maybe somebody. There could be people.
Those people who are already literate.
Yeah.
Show me a person who's not literate that's anti-reading, right?
Exactly. It's just, most of the days, me and my daughter, we do stuff, and then we have a great day, and I work and I do band stuff, and then it's just like, now it's time to sleep. But on those moments where I have energy and I can, there's no better feeling. Like, it used to be a lot more frequent than now, but such is life. So tell us more about your new album coming out. It's just called The Golden Apple. Little Birdie told me maybe June 20th.
Yeah. So that's the second song on Firebird.
So that's the second song. That's not the album. That's the second song on Firebird.
So it's different this year. It's so this will be that'll be the final of the first EP. Okay. So I'm releasing it as 2 EP. It's just kind of confusing. I'm still working out the messaging of this stuff.
No, I'm not that good at reading, obviously. I just admitted this. So
it's happening in real time. Like, a lot of people are used to me like launch. I've gotten messages from people being like, "Where's the album?" It's like, well, it's a little different this year. But so the Golden Apple, that also comes from the story, go figure, of Ivan and the Firebird. And the Golden Apple is, it represents kind of the sphere of life, the like, the magic and the power it comes from the king in the story, who's in the castle, right? He's the archetype of the king, the fucking G, right? Mm-hmm. The guy who's actualized. He's the main dude who, and he's got a castle. In the back there's a magic trees that have golden apples, and the Firebird is known to come and steal them and eat them. And so it kind of just, food of life, the food of life, the nurturing, the ideal nurturing aspect of fruit in life and love, and all, basically just your soul, more or less, food for the soul type of situation, magical fruit, right? And there's some allusions back to Genesis and all that stuff too. There's some of those allusions, but
Yeah.
this is a bluegrass kind of vibe. It's I wrote it on the banjo, and I play with an upright bassist and a fiddle player, and it's got 3 acts. It's all about self-actualization, and it's about it. I don't say the golden apple ever in the song though, but there's a lot. It's about love, the love that the fire of and what the Firebird and the apple represent. But yeah, so that I'm excited about it. It's a little psychedelic at a part there too, so it gets a little wild.
Know, like legally, if you can have a song that's called the Golden Apple if you don't say it.
Well, luck me up.
No, that sounds amazing. Oh my God, I'm so excited to hear it. June 20th, that's going to be 2 days after our show.
Yeah, just
are you going to perhaps play it for the audience?
I'm not planning to bring the banjo. If you guys don't know, if you could procure a banjo.
I have
yeah, you have a banjo.
I'm not gonna find it now, but
You don't have to find it now, but yeah, we can get you a banjo.
Yeah. Then I would definitely mess around with the banjo.
That would be awesome. Yes. All right. So come out on the 18th to 222 Ormsby. And you might hear this new song 2 days before you're allowed.
Or the after party. Maybe we'll have a after party performance.
Yeah, a little acoustic unplugged.
Woohoo. Yeah, we do have the studio is down here. We're in the studio.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, we have drums and
this is not a studio actually. This is a practice space. We do our studio work. No, that's the practice space.
No, that's my banjo.
Studio, okay. Studio work with Razor Blade Recordings. Thank you, Johnny Razor. Thank you.
Banjo.
I see that. That's good. Yay, we got to bring it. But anyways, so what other places are you going to be touring on the East Coast? Where are your stops?
Yeah, once we get over there, we're going to be, we're going to New York City, to the Big Apple, right after the Golden Apple drops. And then we're going to Baltimore for 2 nights, and then Philadelphia.
Ooh, excellent.
And then that's pretty much it on the East Coast. Those dates. There's a lot of Ohio in this tour.
Yeah.
Ohio's a good music state.
It really is. I used to go there all the time.
And it's like the gateway to the East for us in Wisconsin.
It's like a gateway, but in a negative way. It's like a gateway drug. But what's nice is, how far is it from you in Milwaukee to drive to Ohio?
It's not so bad, actually. I don't know, maybe 8 hours.
Okay, that's terrible.
Like that's like that. Well, I don't know, actually. Let's see. Milwaukee. It depends. Let's see. Columbus.
We're in Ohio. Yeah.
I'm gonna be in Columbus the day before Pittsburgh. 7 hours. Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot.
So we're going straight to Columbus, I believe. So yeah, it's a lot. It's gonna be a lot of miles.
Are you playing anywhere near Cincinnati or Kentucky?
Playing Cincinnati.
Are you playing anywhere? Yeah, you're playing Akron.
I'm playing Akron and Cincinnati and Dayton and Columbus.
Do you have a day?
No, Cleveland, not Columbus. Cleveland.
Do you have
Cleveland. Okay, I used to live by Cleveland.
Do you have a day before or after in Cincinnati off?
Yeah, I think we do actually.
You got that friend. We'll talk about this after the podcast. Anyways, I used to,
Creation Museum.
Yeah, the day after.
Creation Museum. Tell them about it now. That's how we got our band name.
On the 29th.
Not we, him. I am the most recent
Yeah,
member, but I have fully taken over.
Yeah, if you're near Cincinnati, you have a day off and you're in the area, go to Kentucky, which is right there.
But what if you don't know? He might.
And
No,
then-
he doesn't.
And it's the Creation Museum. I don't know if you've heard of it. I'm sure you've heard of it before.
Is that like from like the creation myth, like like Christian museum?
Yes.
About,
Okay. He said myth. You can go on.
Okay. Yeah, it's the people who believe that like the Earth is like 10,000 years old,
right.
but like it's a gigantic museum, like it's
Right.
bigger than you think it should be. There's a fucking planetarium.
Was that on the? I think I saw that on Bill Maher's documentary.
Yeah. Ken Ham was on that. The owner, I know his name because I was there a bunch of times. Because every time I'd go play shows in Cincinnati, I'd make sure I'd go to the Creation Museum.
To support
interesting.
them with your money.
Yes, because you have to fuel this idiocy. But it's awesome though, because there's like animatronic dinosaurs with like people. I was like, oh, cavemen.
Right.
There's a fucking T-Rex eating a pineapple. Because before sin, everything was vegetarian, including dinosaurs. There's a fucking T-Rex, and it's an animatronic thing. So it's wild.
Yeah, that sounds real trippy. That could be a fun little playground.
Yeah, they have a petting zoo with like
Are you allowed to pet?
yes, petting zoo.
With what?
Your hands.
Oh well, I mean the animals I can pet.
Oh, they actually have like hybrid animals,
What does that mean?
like a zebra and a horse.
Really?
Yeah, like Zorse, whatever they
I
call
mean, that's
them.
pretty sick.
Take me to see the Zords.
But like, which is fun, which is kind of funny for people who believe in God
It is funny.
to like breed and play God with other animals. But nevertheless, it's a pretty
Yeah.
wild place to be.
Literally showing how genetics changes from generation to generation drastically and mutate.
Yes.
But it's definitely worth
That is interesting. I didn't know that was in that area. I will
yeah,
definitely.
it's like
I'll
it's
put
Cincinnati's,
that-
like right on the border of like Indiana and Kentucky, and it's all
Okay.
like within like an hour.
Yeah, because I know that Louisville is real close to Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'll
right-
have to check that out.
yeah. I recommend it, and I recommend being very sad after it because it is very sad.
Just
Because it's
paying your money, watching the parents with the children,
that's-
being like, look,
that's the sad
Jimmy,
part.
look, this is
Like,
what happened.
If there's nobody in there, it's hilarious. Like we were walking around pointing and laughing and having a good old time. Then you turn around and yeah, it's like, this is real. Telling some like kid out, you're just like,
Is it, bud?
is that child abuse?
No, but you just gotta get the kid aside and be like, oh, look over there. There's,
Look, a science book.
Yeah,
and then be like,
it's all pretend. They're make believing.
I mean, and the animatronics though, that's always impressive. If it's
Yeah.
impressive,
And a T-Rex eating a fucking pineapple.
that's
yeah, that's awesome.
Don't get better than that.
so that's something you can do on your time.
I'll pose that to the boys and we'll see if because we do have that next day off. So
You have to.
Yeah.
I think our drummer has like a place that we can. He's like, yeah, we got a place to stay in Cincinnati for like multiple days if we want to. So that might even work.
Mhm.
Excellent. There you go. You
'Cause I
can't
know
be
we
sure
play
not
in
to go.
Indianapolis the following day. So we'll have, yeah. That's another place. Yeah, Indianapolis. We'll play there too.
Indianapolis. That'll be fun. All cool places. I've never been there.
Not sure it changes
Look at
colors.
this. It is. It changes. Look at that. And then,
No,
What is that called?
it's
Sequence? No, what is that
Now
called?
it's red and gold. Now it's black and white. Isn't that
Amazon.
neat?
But we don't want to
Yeah, that's
really
pretty
support Amazon because it's gross, but it is very convenient.
Yeah, it's a hell of a product, man. I'll tell you what.
It's a hard time we're living in right now.
The-
And by
they're
hard-
working. They're working on people are working on things to like. I'm not to shift it. We don't have to go into this topic, but I am with Firebird. I'm also doing a like an open source because I am open source. And I have a computer engineering background. I'm working with this this computer engineer and developer in South Africa and building like a audio visual mixer like for musicians to collaborate with visual artists and to be able to like just automate that process of collaboration and to automate the process of derivative works of like someone doing a remix or a thing where it can all be, like everyone has their intellectual property accounted for, and everyone gets their royalties and maintains their ownership and all that stuff, and it handles that. But it's using blockchain technology, and so there's a lot of, and so I've like pretty regular conversations with the people on the cutting edge of like what's going on in that space, and they're offering an alternative of like be able to basically like match the power and the capability of an Amazon, but make it where it's decentralized and owned by communities.
That would be amazing.
Like if your town, if everyone could just pitch in to something and also get the benefits of having like their own Uber of the town.
Here's the thing. Hang on. Every conservative is going to be like, I'm not pitching in.
Well, if you can get some money from it, that's the thing. It's like if everyone benefits, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's very early with this stuff, but there are a lot of, actually, I think conservatives, from what I've gathered, there's like a lot of them in crypto and blockchain and stuff, because there's a lot of money.
If you're getting something, if you can be like, you are getting something tangible from it. Yeah.
I mean, with the self-driving cars, that's with Uber, at least that's where everything's going. But like the people are already doing it in some towns in Africa. There's this one, they were talking about how they're basically letting cities and people in the city own their own internet service provider, where they don't even need
like something for everybody.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is like this lives in its own global standard world. It doesn't, like, they have to comply with whatever government that they're in, but like they're offering competition to a lot of these nations to be able to be like, hey, no, we can build these tools cheaper, better, and as strong as Amazon's services. And so it's interesting. It's basically like the internet again, all over again. They call it web 3 instead of like web 2.0 or whatever. Like now it's web 3. And so I don't know. It's something that I'm interested in, and I see that it gives me some hope, at least for the future, because I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I definitely am a realist, but there's times in my life I've been nihilist for sure, and more cynical, and sometimes that's totally necessary and totally real. But I don't know. We do live in kind of the best time ever, I feel like.
I feel like we are in the worst time in the history. But I get what you're saying, and especially you with somebody with your background and your current skill set and the people that you're working with. I get it. Like, you have opportunities for change. You have opportunities to make things better, and you can communicate that. Like, to the common man, it's just like, oh fuck, here we are. Here we are.
I don't think we're in the worst times.
No, we're not in the worst.
We're in the worst timeline.
But it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I can press a button and get water from a faucet. You know what I mean? That's clean. That I can drink, and like, we don't have to break our backs. Doing a lot of different things that now machines can do, and all that stuff, right? So I don't know. That's the stuff.
1,000,000%.
There is a lot of fucked up shit that needs to be fixed, but I feel like our morals and our ethics are changing so quickly with with how things are rapidly changing. It's really easy to project our current ethics and morality onto the past and think that, and it's like, wow, everything back then was so fucked up. How was everyone so fucked up? It's like, well, they didn't have power. It's like,
exactly.
So like, think about that. There was no such thing as contraception. Like, just that alone, like how much, or people were just like going conquering. You could be conquered at any moment. You know what I mean?
Everyone would be fucking conquered. I
want to conquer somebody.
Go do it. Go do it.
No.
Anyways, no, but yeah, things are very different now, and it is easy.
Something that I try to keep in mind, at least, like
it is.
It's
because
not.
It's like, oh, things suck and they're terrible, but I mean, but there's a lot of things.
My great uncle stored a beach of Normandy. It's like, I don't know, things could be worse.
Right. They certainly could be. We've come a long way.
But yeah, definitely room for improvement. I agree. And there's definitely a lot of inequity, especially with economics. I'm totally on board. Like I've definitely, once I learned a little bit about that, about, the Federal Reserve and about how everything works, I learned a little bit about it in college. And, when I was just like exploring economics a little bit. It's fascinating to me a little bit. I'm not like an expert or anything, but just a casual enthusiast about, I know a thing or two, like, oh yeah, I know that person's name, or I heard of that thing. But when it comes to the Federal Reserve, they control, it's a centralized, power. And that's, when you centralize all the power, that's literally just authority or authoritarianism and tyranny. And, and so they can decide, they decide, oh, now the interest rates are going up. Oh, now the interest rates are going down. Everything's fine for them and their friends and all the people close to the top. Is the further you are, or the closer you are to the source of that, I'm sure the wealthier
the more good you are.
Yeah. So people's standards of living across the world are rising. But if at this rate, I don't, it might, if it continues to be authoritarian and centralized, I don't think that's the recipe for a global civilization. It might be the way we can make New York City or something, but that's not what we're going to do, like to make Neo Miami or whatever in 2050 or whatever it is, or 2075. It has to be a global civilization that has, provable, trustless things. We're not relying on bureaucracy. We can rely on, physics and math and shit. Be like, yeah, that stuff's true. That stuff's always true. Usually, like in math. I don't know. Although, like you said, we just, might slip into another timeline, and all of a sudden, maybe that's not the case.
What we need are more people who will be like, this is physics and math, and this is what's happening. And if everyone could agree on that, it would be like, awesome. Right. Okay.
Why would fucking people? I don't understand why people don't agree on things
that
are real.
But
it's not a fucking like a conversation.
Yeah.
Like it's not a conversation to be had.
Cullah 2024.
Oh no. I don't know. Music is more of a powerful medium for me. I don't know. I like to change things by, by hopefully building a tool that musicians can use to maintain their right. Like I also started a company called Free Music Land to try and do this. It's how I mentioned before about how I did open licensing, growing up, and that's how I got syncs and things in movies. So I'm essentially just building out the tools that I've built for myself, including using other websites like that, and just trying to putting it all in one platform, peer-to-peer music licensing platform. So kind of like Bandcamp, but for like sync. So like you can set your own prices, you can set your own price for how much you want to license your song for, or you can offer it for free under Creative Commons license, and just to connect musicians with the folks that want to license their music and have little budgets for them, or bigger budgets or whatever it is, and to let musicians have opportunities, even if it's free. That's what I've done, is you do it for free, and then once you have syncs, then you can actually have leverage and pitch it to people that maybe have bigger budgets or that deal with bigger players and Netflix or whatever. Because it's like a catch-22, like almost every other part of the music industry, like even on tour. Like if I didn't have your guys' help into it, it was a lot more difficult. It was super difficult for me to get a venue on board with just me playing, because I don't have that experience.
They don't know you. Yeah.
They don't know me, and they don't know like, oh, have they even played here? That's too much of a risk. Why would we pony up, $500 worth of expenses, for this person that we don't even know if he's ever been here or whatever it is. That's just the way, that's just how things work. There's some venues that, maybe are more open to things and stuff, but they're usually taking less risk, or they're okay with the risk and stuff, or
they're
maybe
like bad venues.
or bad venues. But a lot of time, I don't know. I don't blame the folks for not like, what I'm trying to say is, it's the catch-22, right? Like,
yes,
you play in Pittsburgh a bunch of times. You show, oh yeah, this many people came out to this show, this many people came out to that show.
Right, exactly.
Then the venue will be like, oh, okay, yeah, like, sure.
Well, I mean, with us, it's like, oh, we come to Milwaukee. How many people are going to come see us there? Fucking zero. Now one, and anyone you bring. Like, nobody's going to drive to fucking Milwaukee to see God Hates Unicorns right now. Why is he mad at me? But for real, like it's hard. Like as an
Oh,
out
yeah.
of town band, like it's like, oh, Cullah, and then everybody's like, what's that? Because they don't know because you haven't been there.
Right.
So I'm really excited for the show. I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to get to perform with you. You seem like an all around grade A guy. So we're really pumped and we're very excited that you reached out to us.
The mushroom stamp of approval.
The mushroom stamp of approval.
Yeah, no, the feeling is mutual. I'm and I'm super happy that we can meet like this before the show too.
Yeah.
So, so we have a little bit of understanding and I actually know your name, Joshua and Jess.
Thank you. And it's so good. He said your whole name and he said the name that I prefer.
And there's 3 more of us that aren't nearly as important.
Okay, yeah, I won't. As long as they don't,
You don't have to learn our names.
they start with a J, it'll be easier.
Yeah.
They'll be at the after party.
Yeah, they'll be at the after party.
But anyways,
There'll be some J's going around, right?
so Cullah, we're going to be playing together at 222 Ormsby,
June 18th.
June 18th. He also has his Golden Apple single coming out June 20th. Check him out, follow him.
Links down below.
Putting the links here. Come out and see us in real life, IRL. It's going to be a party.
And you come to the after party if I invite you.
Yeah, don't come if you're not invited. If one of us invites you, great.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like,
Yeah.
don't.
Never come
Weird.
unless I give permission.
Yeah, if you don't have a mushroom stamp,
If you don't have the mushroom stamp, you're not coming. So thank you so much, Cullah.
And I'm
You're
not either.
awesome. Thank you so much. It was awesome talking to you, and we can't wait to see you on the 18th.
yeah, likewise. Thank you so much for having me. And the 18th is going to be a great time.
You're awesome. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.